When you launch it for the first time, you don't have any cameras here. So you're going to go in the camera numbering here, and you're just going to renumber. So make sure you turn them on in the right order, one after the other. And once everything is there, just click renumber, and you're good to go. One new thing is that you can turn off any of the cameras if you don't need it for some reason. From the dashboard, everything you're used to, the trigger button, settings for all cameras, and you can trigger by holding this button for about 3 or 4 seconds. And if you have cameras like the ones I have here with mirror lockup, the SL1, just hold it, it's going to mirror lock up automatically. I release, and then we have a countdown. It's triggering, and we have the shot that appears right here. And I forgot to disable the Gaussian splat, so it's gonna tick for about 37 seconds. We're going to let it roll, but let me just reduce myself a bit. You don't need to see my face anyway. So you saw how quickly it went for the calibration, but that's because I already had a reference shot. So what we used to call the calibration, you don't need a calibration bar, but you still need to calibrate on something. But that something can be pretty much anything. So when I launched the app earlier today, I had no data sets here, and I took this shot and I calibrated on it. It was easy because we have enough features. So think about a 3D scene where we need enough common features across the camera so we can recognize the scene in 3D. So the way you calibrate, you click on alignment here, and then you click on align. Make sure you are in arc mode, meaning you're gonna be going left and right, as opposed to a full 360, a 3D or linear. We'll go back to that at some point. But for most of you, it's going to be just arc. So if we go down here, we see the virtual calibration bar. It wasn't there. We put it there virtually. And then we see the non-calibrated and the calibrated shot. And I can click on pause here and see both of them with the camera number. Go back at the top. I can test a Gaussian splat shot. So I can click on train splat, and then I'm going to create a new one. So it's very easy. You just click on start training, make sure that post shot is installed, and that's going to create a splat. This is a very low quality one that I trained for just 5 seconds. So it's not relevant, but this is our current calibration reference. Or at least it was when I did it. So when I click on alignment, I can set it as active reference. So it's not the current one, but we can figure it out from the library on the left side. You see this icon here? It means that this is that stupid shot is the new reference. I set it up later on for testing, but it's super clean, enough feature to be able to calibrate. We still have our 7 cameras here, and to automate the calibration based on the reference, you need a reference first, of course, but once you have it, you can align all of your shots using this one. And you might not even need it. You can skip this one if you're going only with Gaussian splat. But this one is very fast, so it's a nice preview to have. So you can turn it on, auto run on all data sets that you shoot, and then the finishing, that's going to be to select what kind of watermark you want to have, any soundtrack, any MP4 intro. The Gaussian splat is currently activated. I can change the settings from this arrow here. So I'm using post shot. I'm in low, only 5K steps. That's enough for my tests. And ideally, you don't shoot over 1080p. This is how you can keep a very quick and result a very quick splat training. So once everything is automated, you're gonna get your 3D Gaussian splat within about a minute, depending on your graphic card. In most cases, you want to have one reference shot that you're going to reuse over and over. But if somehow your handheld, every shot is different, then you can check the auto align toggle here, and it's going to recalibrate on every shot you take. Let's go back to that shot here with Kim and the cat that I showed earlier today. Let's edit it from the library. So it's that icon right here. And from here, you see the tabs at the top. So I could recalibrate on this specific one if I would want to. I just click on alignment, and I can realign, and then I can regenerate the MP4 that is aligned, but also the splat itself. Speaking of the splat, if I go in that module, you see that my ratio is 9:16. It's for mobile phone. Not very convenient at the moment on this 16:9 monitor. So I'm gonna change my playback to ratio 16:9. Now it looks better. And you see my crop area here. I'm going to disable that. I don't need it. I don't need a sphere crop. That's better. So it's the entire scene that we see here. And we get a very simple left and right bounce. But maybe we want to change that. So we have a bunch of presets here. Let's try the double bounce. Or the half return whip. Or the punch in. So on this one I have a super intense zoom dolly effect. Okay, let's pause that thing. And I'm gonna make it a bit bigger. There we go. You can navigate the scene in 3D using the left click on the mouse, or the right click to pan left and right, or the scroll to zoom in and out. And when you're shooting with just a small camera array like this one with only 7 cameras, you cannot go very far. It starts to break very quickly. But that's why we implemented the anchors, so you know that the point of views are going to work without breaking anything. So the anchors are actually the real camera point of view. And if we click on it, we see that these are the non-calibrated point of view, the original ones. But it doesn't matter that it's not calibrated in here, because the camera traveling goes from one point to the other, to the last one, in a smooth curve. So these anchors are used in the keyframes. On this preset, I have 5 keyframes in my timeline. And if I click on one, I can see where I'm starting from. The anchor is the middle camera. I can choose a specific camera or a calculated one. What does it mean, middle camera? It means that I don't have to create new presets if I go from 7 to 200 cameras. I can just use the calculated anchors. So on this preset, I'm starting from the middle camera, and then I can auto adjust from there, or I can even decide to go anywhere else and create a new anchor using this button. The cat wanted to say hi. Oops. She's going to be part of that video. I hope you're still here with us. So if I click back on the keyframe, the first keyframe, that's my point of view, and the second one is this one here. So if I click on the play head here, you see I go from the first to the second keyframe. So you can customize any keyframe going from one to the other, but in this specific preset, I stayed in the middle position, so camera number 4, but I changed the focal and the dolly to create a zoom dolly effect. Okay, so if I play it, it's also called the vertigo effect, or there's another name for that, the Hitchcock effect. And then we go to camera 1, the first, and then the last one, and we go back in the middle. But that last keyframe is actually sync with the first one. And this is how we get this seamless loop. So if I play, there we go. You might have noticed that little fly here, that floater, which we want to avoid normally. The reason we have that is that we don't have enough coverage for a nearby object. You want to avoid that normally. So if I go to my frames for this data set, we see that we have a corner of the table here that is too close to the camera. That doesn't work in Gaussian Splat. It's not about Xangle, it's really about building the Gaussian Splat, so you want to avoid that. Let me go back to the Splat. Okay, so let's talk about the crop. From here, we can crop the scene into, let me change something first so it's easier to understand. All right, so I have a sphere crop, and I can use it to crop my subject. But what's really interesting by using this is the fact that we have access to the opposite, the cropped area. So if I turn it on, it looks like we don't have any crop at all. But actually, we can customize the look of what's outside of the zone that we're keeping. Can even colorize the whole thing. But one of the main reasons why we're doing this is to be able to separate the subject from the background so we can insert a logo. In that case, it's not going to work well because she's too close to the wall behind her. But I can try anyway. Maybe if I use a cylinder crop instead, this way it's going to be sharper behind her. So maybe I can crop the wall. Okay, let me disable the crop area first. Yes, so just one leg missing. Let's fix that up. Okay, so now you see that she's well separated from the wall. So if I put back my cropped area, looks good, and then I can import my logo. I can change the opacity of it. And I can bring it up right there. And then if we play the whole animation again, actually I don't even have to put any effects on the background. I can leave it to regular values, no blur. The default spread is 1, no particles. So now we have the real background, but Kim is separated from it, so we can put the logo behind her. Maybe it would look better with a black logo. It's not the right environment. We're just testing. We're just having fun today. But now you know how to add your own logo into a 3D scene. Okay, so everything I've been doing in this Splat Player is automatically saved in the preset that I'm currently working on because of this checkbox here, the autosave. This. If I uncheck, then I have to manually think about saving it back. So now everything is saved, so that means that if I use this preset to automate everything, you're gonna get the logo for all of your shots during your event. And once you're done, you can always save it. You can export the final MP4 into the render panel here. So you have a bunch of settings and you can render the MP4 file.